Welcome to the LA Business Podcast, a forum for business owners and senior executives to share the experiences about the elements that drive their success. Your host is Robert Brill, CEO of Brill Media.co.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the LA Business Podcast. We are here today with Johnny Baklini, Chief Operating Officer of Cedars Group, a franchisee. Welcome and thanks for being on the show. We're in the same entrepreneurs organization and we've known each other for a couple of months now. And I've really had a cool chance to get to know your story a little bit better. And it's great to have you on the show. Tell us a little bit about what Cedars Group does.
First, thank you, Robert, for having me. Cedars Group, we've got established last year. We've been in business for 1 year, and we acquired the Little Caesars Pizza franchise. We started in Ridgecrest, California, and last year, around mid last year, we acquired 6 stores in Yuma, Arizona. So our current portfolio is 7 stores, and we're trying to add up more this year, hopefully.
What was the impetus for going into that type of business?
Our family's been in business since 1986 with the first Little Caesars that we opened in Bakersfield, California. And so as a family business, family-oriented business, we have over 14 stores in Bakersfield, California. So we as a young cousins, we decided to branch out and do our own thing. And so while we still manage the big mother company, we manage our own company, which now have 7 stores. So in total, we manage 21 Little Caesars locations.
That's nuts. So I imagine, does operational excellence play a part in your success?
Oh, it's all about operation, especially when you're trying to scale and especially when you're dealing with people. So we have about 500 employees, and operation excellence is at its core. You have to have the best operation to be able to maintain, elevate, and grow the company.
Can you talk a little bit about that? And I'll give you a little bit of context of why I'm asking about that. We hired last year a fantastic head of operations. His name is Tony Price. And I always call out his name because I want people to know who he is. He's a really fantastic professional and a friend that I've had for 20 years. And he's taught me a lot about operational excellence.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's so challenging, right? Because as a business owner, I imagine you're the same way. Like, all we want to do is we want to grow and scale and sell and meet new customers, right? But then the actual fulfillment of that work has to have a process. And if it doesn't have a process, a lot of things fall apart.
Correct. We're dealing with people business. Before we are a business, we are people, individuals that come together as one and help elevate the business as well as elevating ourselves. So to have the operation excellence, you really have to have a family feel. You really have to take care of your people first. And once everyone is taken care of, the hard work shows up, the productivity shows up. Once you work in a group and you share the same feelings and you share the same vision and you share all those ethical family feels that we have, then it's easier to scale because you're working with people that you can trust, and trust is very hard to achieve. But once you break all those layers and now you've achieved a good trust, someone that you can call family, then you can scale, and the sky is the limit once that achievement is done.
What kind of actions? What is operational? What do operations and operational excellence look like for your business? Like what types of things are in the operations process that you think are best practices for your organization?
Well, as I said, number one is a family feel. So in our vision, actually, let me grab it real quick. In our core value, we have family first. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's gonna be
getting
yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it, but family is what we build on. If let's just say one of our managers is having a bad time, we are first in line for them, and strengthening the feel of that is what's gonna make our business better in the future. Also, integrity and honesty. Once you establish a family, you're also honest, and now you can operate on the basics of also honesty while you have a vision. You're looking at the operation stuff that we already have. Then we have commitment to excellence. So we don't just do it because we want to do it. We believe in it, and once we do, when you do something you believe in, average is not okay anymore. You always want to be number one. So you always push to be the best. And we look at the stuff that we're not excellent at, we're not good at, and we try to achieve a better level. The best thing about the most important thing I would say about operation in any business is follow up. Because once the leader stops following up, and the leaders are in any level of the organization. It does not have to be the CEO. It's every level of the organization.
It's the on the ground. It's the on the ground person who is transacting with the customer. That's the leader in that equation.
Like every customer, every single employee is a leader. So they have to follow up, and most importantly, they have to own it. So let's say we made a decision. If I just make a decision without anyone else being part of it and without them owning it, it's not gonna see any light. Every single individual in our organization have to own it. And for them to own it, they have to be part of the decision making. So we give everybody a chance to make a decision before we make it official. That way, when you make your own decision, it's easier for me to follow up on you, and it's easier for you to follow up back on me because now we made the decision together. So
and there's accountability. And there's accountability, right? Like no one is being told what to do. We are connecting on the project together and making a sound decision together. I like that a lot.
Yeah. And also to conclude this with is play hard, work hard. Yes, we want to work hard. We want to be the best, but at the same time, we want to have fun. So we don't want in our stores, even though we operate Little Cedars Pizza and you go and you make pizza, we want to have Disneyland feel. We want customers to walk in and actually enjoy and have an experience. So in our stores as franchisees, we try our best to push work hard, play hard. We're here to have fun. Forget the drama at home. Everyone has drama. Let's just come here and enjoy.
How do you do that? That seems, I can't even imagine how do you create that feel at a Little Caesars?
Well, it's a lot of work, but I want to start with selecting people when you hire. Be very selective. Then it's a simple question as this, and I heard it from an entrepreneur back a year ago, and this question really changed my business. It was from 1 to 10, how lucky are you? And so anyone that answers below 7, we immediately disqualify them because we want to hire people that are positive. And the positive create the value and create the feel and create a nice atmosphere. We don't want negative people coming to work with us. We want someone positive. And so once you try to select, you're never going to be successful 100%, but you're always going to have some sort of success rate, right? So once you select the positive people, then you build on that, and it's fun. You probably work with someone that's always negative. Always find an excuse why not to do it. I want someone to find an excuse why yes we should do it. So it's a different perspective here. I
qualify them as yes people and no people.
Right.
But it's the same type of thing, right? It's like, are you a person? Is your disposition no, or is your disposition yes? What's interesting about that is operationally, it's so critically important to have process.
Correct.
And part of that process is enforcing a timeline and a procedure that is actually designed to get the best possible outcomes. Actually, I don't have an outcome for this particular question, but it's just interesting to me. Like one of the challenges that we had within our business, to give you some context, is we would say yes to we would say yes to requests that I felt comfortable that we could deploy, but then actually activating on those requests was sometimes difficult because I would say yes because I know we could do it, but then I wouldn't give ourselves enough time to make it work. Like instead of giving it a 2-day deliverable, it would be a 3-day deliverable or a 5-day deliverable, and setting those frameworks are important.
100%, and you want to deliver on your promise. So sometimes it's okay to say yes, we can do it in this time frame, rather than jumping on something and not actually deliver.
So Johnny, what goes into the decision-making process as to making the decision about how many franchises you're going to, or how many stores you're going to onboard? Like, I think you probably have some goals about how many stores you want. Like, how do you make the decision to say, okay, no, I want 1 store additional this year, or 5 stores, or 10 stores? Like, what are like maybe the economics or the decision making? Like, it seems like your business is such a very different business than mine is. It's right. Like, it's like, I can't even imagine how to even go about testing whether or not it's the right thing to do to expand. Like, how do you make those decisions?
So at the beginning of the stage, at the beginning, we had a meeting with my cousins and shareholder agreement. We did all that, and we decided that we want to grow 10 stores a year, which give us 100 stores for the next 10 years, and that's our goal. But I think we were too naive in terms of quantity and not quality. So now, after a year and a half of operating our stores, we decided to not worry about the quantity, but more about the quality. Because sometimes you can acquire a business that's doing very good. Let's just say 1 store doing very good, and then you can buy 3 stores doing the same as 1 store. So quantity is not really, doesn't mean anything. So we decided to go with quality. And right now, anything scalable for us, we cannot just go to Nevada and open 1 store. We cannot go to Miami and open 1 store. We look at a cluster of stores, restaurants, and even more, we look at people. Who's going to manage those stores? Who's going to take over on that market? Do we have the right people? And is that the right market for us? And is it scalable? We don't just want to acquire a market without being able to scale it and serve the community the way it should be served.
So Johnny, let me ask you this. When you said you want quality, what are some of the factors that goes into making 1 store be a quality store, and 1 store, then you have 3 of them that do the same numbers as that 1. What are some of the factors that play there?
So sometimes you buy off potential. A business that's doing average, and you can bump it up and increase it. Maybe they have bad customer service. Maybe they have bad sales. Maybe they have not enough training. Maybe they don't have the culture. Maybe they're staffed. We don't know. What makes the decision of a good or bad store is, in any business, the bottom line. So is this bottom line worth our investment to go to a new market, invest in new people, having a team, new HR, new laws? Everything changes, right? So because we're not just in 1 state, we're in different states. So anytime we go to a different state, we have to learn all those new laws, all those new job-related decisions or laws that we have to adapt to. It's a huge decision, but we look at the bottom line, we look at the return on investment, and we look at the potential.
So do you find yourself in a situation where, like, let's say you meet a person who wants to sell their store,
mm-hmm.
and you can tell the owner's a no person, or that person, if you ask them that question that you talked about earlier, they're like a 3. Right? Can you automatically go into that meeting and be like, all right, this person is a no person, which clearly means that their culture is not going to be strong.
Correct.
Which therefore means the massive opportunity that you're buying is the ability to revamp the culture. You then revamp the culture, and now you're going to get I'm making it up, 25% more sales or 100% more sales. Is it that simple? Like, have you developed that feel? Like, how do you know when you go into a meeting, like, okay, this is a win, this is a loss?
So it's know your enemy, right? It's not enemy in that sort, but it's knowing the store and knowing what you do. If you want to be successful in anything you do, you have to love what you do and know exactly what you do. A lot of people try different things, but that's a different topic. First, I visit the stores because that's an image of the management, right? So you can see the feed, you can actually know what you can or cannot do better. So before I meet the person, I'd rather meet them at their location, so I know the vibe, I know how things are happening, and I can see people knowledge, and I can see the people reacting to the management being there, and I can see all that stuff in front of me, and that gives me the better knowledge to negotiate. I mean, we don't negotiate on potential because I'm not buying potential. I am making the potential. So that's a value that I'm going to add in the future. We're not talking about this. I don't go to a meeting and tell them, hey, this is what I can do, therefore that's how much I'm going to be paying. No, I look at the fact that they already have. I look at their numbers. I look at the bottom line, the potential I have. It's good for me, and then I negotiate off that, and make things a little bit sound more dangerous than it seems. Like, oh, this is happening, and you always got to have something to negotiate.
So that's really interesting. Do you why do you go to new states? Why aren't you expanding into the markets that you're currently in? Are there some like caps or limitations there?
No, I mean, in California, sadly, the new laws are not favorable for the business. But doesn't matter. I mean, we're looking at opportunities right now in California, so it's not really making us change the decision that we want to or not go to that market. But what we'll look for opportunity. It doesn't matter where. It could be in India. It doesn't have to be in USA. It could be anywhere. Once there's an opportunity and once you can improve it and make a change and help people grow with it, because it's all about people and elevating people. If you can elevate people and help them grow in anywhere you can and make a change, then we're all for it. Remember, business is not just a way to make money. It's also a way to elevate others and grow others. And that's how we look at it.
That's really interesting. So what's interesting to me is that a lot of what you're telling me about how you're growing your business and making each store more profitable is really about the people and the culture, right? It's about the people and the culture.
Yes. I mean, look at it this way. The more you make money, the more you can spend money. So the more you can pay your people, the more you elevate them, the more you can invest in their education, the more you can, we have people that started with us from nothing and not being able to afford a car. And now now they are directors, and now they are supervisors, and now they make, a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that's because we invested in them. We have a family feel. So what I mean by family feel is, if your son come to you one day and tell you, Johnny, I got a C, you don't just fire them. No, you invest more in them. You elevated them to get an A, right? And that's how we don't fire just to fire, or we don't give up. And if someone is failing, that's because we fail. So we invest in them, elevating them, because their success is our success. And that's how we do. And that's why I think we're very successful.
So Johnny, I can tell you, I think you're the type of person who I would want as a boss. And I can tell you that very, very specifically because I'm the type of person who I would not want as a boss. I'd much rather work for you than work for me.
I think you're a great person, and
well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You undervalue yourself.
So let me ask you a question here. So the challenge is, like, I think it's very hard to hone the power of culture to grow a business, because either it's an expression of who you are, or it's not an expression of who you are. If you're the type of person where it's hard to cultivate culture, you got to buy culture. And that's what we did within our organization. When I say buy culture, I just mean, like, I hired someone, our COO, who he thinks about culture much more than I do. I think about the business, but I'm enamored with the business side of it. I love the work that we do. So Johnny, what type of are there any other business practices outside of building culture that you use to grow your business? Like you do marketing and advertising, like, or is it purely about culture and like that's how you grow your business? What are the things? What are the levers that you pull?
So we are a national company. We are a franchisee. We're a small part of a huge company that invest a lot of money in marketing and all that stuff. And we're very grateful for the effort they do, and they're very successful. As a local owner in a local business, I focus really on local stuff. We advertise just to share the new products. We advertise to show people what we have, but what we do really is be part of our community, because without the community we're nothing. What we try to do, and we do it because it's in us, it's our value, it's our ethics, we don't do it for the return. We do it because we want to do it, and all our employees are welcome to join us anytime they want, and we all go do it together. So we serve the community by providing pizzas for the less fortunate people. In the pandemic, we served more than 12,000 pizzas to essential people, to first responders, to everybody. I'm not sure if you remember Ridgecrest earthquake. During the big earthquake that hit, the very next day, I went with a lot of brave co-workers, family members, I call them. We opened that store, even though everything was shaky. We opened that store and we served, I think, about 1,300 pizza free for everybody, because they didn't have means to cook. They didn't have means to actually have time to do that. So whenever there's something in need, we are the first people on the line to be with our community, hold each other's hand, and elevate everybody. It's all about people. As I said, the culture starts within your organization, but it doesn't mean that you can't spread it outside. And that's what we try to do. I feel every person has a reason why they were born. There's a reason why I was born. There's a reason why I'm doing this. And my partners are doing this with me because we have a mission. And our mission is, in my opinion, in my personal mission, is to draw a smile on people's faces. So anything we can do that can make someone smile, we're all for it.
That's incredible, man. I love this. Seriously, like this is such a great like vibe.
Yeah, and you know what? Tony Robbins was 100% right when he said, the secret to happiness is giving. The more you give, the more happy you feel. And that's proven with my experience. Every time we do something, the amount of happiness that I feel is just enormous. And that it's almost like an addiction, and you want to do it more and more and more, because really nothing else in life matters.
I love it. So Johnny, as we wrap up, you're in the food business. Are there any specific types of foods that you love? I'm a big foodie. Where should I be eating if I'm in your neck of the woods?
Well,
other than Little Caesars, obviously.
I was gonna say Little Caesars. I love sushi. I'm a big fan of sushi. Try to have it maybe once a week. I'm Italian food too. I'm a big fan of Italian restaurants.
Cool.
Basically anything, man.
Cool. Well, if people want to reach out to you for more information or to see your stores, like how can people reach out to you?
I can give you my email, johnny@cedarsgroup.com. Feel free to email me, and I'm good to respond.
Very good. Johnny Baklini, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the LA Business Podcast. If you like what we're doing on this podcast, please consider subscribing on Apple or Google Play, leaving a 5-star review, and sharing with your friends. If you have any questions, comments, or recommendations for a guest you'd like to hear on this podcast, please email me, robert@brillmedia.co. Thank you. Have a fantastic day.